Now let's go to a former Hollywood power couple responsible for making countless headlines across the years, both good and bad. Kim Kardashian and Kanye West were arguably one of the most famous couples of the 21st century. Their union merging the worlds of reality TV and the music industry.
I remember asking my manager, like, who's that girl right there? And he's like, oh, yeah, oh, you mean Kim? So
was it love at first sight?
Oh yeah, definitely.
After 2 years of dating, they officially tied the knot in 2014 in a lavish ceremony in Florence, Italy. And while the couple welcomed 4 children together, that relationship wouldn't last. And 8 years later, their divorce was finalized.
I honestly can't do this anymore. Like,
no, I think that
why am I still in this place where I'm stuck for years? Like, he goes and moves to a different state every year. I have to be together so I can raise the kids, you know?
Now the story behind what really happened between the pair is being further examined in a new 2-part documentary called Kim versus Kanye, The Divorce.
The stated reason for the divorce was irreconcilable differences.
What we really learned in this case was this was a toxic relationship.
Looks good, doesn't it? And joining us now is the documentary director, Marcus English, who's live from London for us. Hey, Marcus.
Hey, Marcus.
Hello, hello. It's just so intriguing, isn't it? I mean, it's probably one of the most high-profile divorce cases in the history of divorces. So what inspired you to want to make this documentary?
Well, I'd made a similar couple of documentaries that were focused on sort of infamous legal battles last year. So I'd covered the Depp versus Heard trial out in Virginia in the United States. I had made a documentary looking at the conservatorship battle between Britney Spears and her father. And I was scouting for another subject where there would be 2 sides with polar opposite perspectives in a legal dispute. And around that sort of time where I was scouting around for a new subject, the divorce between Kim and Kanye got finalized. And here was a perfect subject where you had one side having one view of reality and another side with a diametrically opposed view of kind of what was going on. And it kind of fitted into this documentary idea of 2 parts, 2 sides, unvarnished by rebuttals. And I thought it would be a perfect subject to look into. And right about the sort of same time as when Kanye started to appear, but began to make a sort of string of anti-Semitic hate speech appearances. And we're interested in investigating where this came from and whether we could place it in the context of his divorce with
it is fascinating. So I was watching the first part last night, and so that's the Kanye part, you know. And you do sort of separating them. I think is an interesting way of doing a documentary like this, because you do get to unfiltered sides from their own perspective. And you know, were you mindful, I suppose, with the Kanye side, that there was a lot of trauma there, that there was a lot of mental health that was going on, and that probably did play a lot into then what's going to happen in part 2 with Kim's part?
Absolutely. I think, you know, that's the one thing that I was particularly interested in, was how Kanye's mental health struggles have been covered in the wider media. And could we look at his actions and look at some of his public pronouncements through the prism of his mental health? And I think that was the kind of the main priority of you know, part 1 of the documentary, which is Kanye's side of the story.
And then there's exclusive details with Kanye's side of the story. So where did you get those from?
We managed to get his divorce lawyer to give us an exclusive interview, or 2 of his divorce lawyers, I should say. One lasted, I think, a few weeks before he dropped Kanye as a client because of his anti-Semitic remarks back in October. But his other attorney was the one that took him through the whole final stages of the divorce settlement, and finalised the divorce with Kanye. And we found out some extraordinary things from him about Kanye's sort of attitude to the split with Kim Kardashian. And perhaps one of the most interesting things was, Kanye didn't want to get divorced. He was a man who fought tooth and nail over the 2 years of this sort of divorce battle to keep the relationship going. He was incapable of kind of seeing the finality of this relationship, and wanted to continue to kind of reconcile. But obviously, Kim was having none of it.
Yeah,
and the strain that
against the Kardashians.
Yeah, and also the strain of Kanye's mental health issues and public issues and breakdowns was such a big thing for her too in the divorce.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's what's so fascinating about this. Marcus, we thank you so much for your time. Lovely to have you on. You can watch Kim versus Kanye, The Divorce. It's on Binge now. It is 2 parts, so check it out.
Hey there, Today fans. Sarah and...
What's my name again?
Oh my goodness, Carl.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel, though. Subscribe now for more news, special reports, and amazing Aussie stories.
And Carl misbehaving,
Whoa,
of course.
that never happens.
Always happens.
What's she talking about?
Always happens.